Howdy, folks. I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Alright, folks, our first letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my ex to stay away from my daughters? So, a long story short, I'm a 34-year-old female, and I thought that my ex, a 35-year-old male, was cheating on me when he wasn't. We broke up a little over a year ago, and he wouldn't accept my attempts to get back together with him, but he still felt like it was okay to show up at my daughter's events. They're not even his daughters, but I tolerated it for a little while because they want him there, and he did help raise them for 7 years. When he started dating again, I thought it was okay and that he would move on, and I told my daughters to block him on social media, stop answering his calls, and avoid him if they see him in person. Earlier this year, I found out through a third party that he had shown up at my 17-year-old's prom and had danced with her and taken pictures with her and her friends. I checked her phone and found out that she was the one who invited him, so she got grounded. Well, last week, my 12-year-old was singing at a school recital, and I saw him sitting on the other side of the auditorium with one of my friends. The auditorium was dark when my 12-year-old walked in, but somehow she just knew where my ex was and waved to him. I confronted him and my friend outside because 1, she didn't tell me that she was dating him, and 2, she knew that I didn't want him around my kids. She said that her son was singing in the recital too, and he was there and he wanted to watch him. I couldn't prove otherwise at the moment, so I just had to let it go. But when we got home, I checked my 12-year-old phone and I saw that she had texted him, "Are you coming to see me sing? Where are you going to be sitting so I can see you?" And then I grounded her. And of course, my 14-year-old betrayed me as well. Literally 2 days ago, my daughter was smart enough to delete her texts before I got to them, but I caught her. Her team's last soccer game for the year was on Friday, and he showed up. My daughter thought that I wasn't going to be at the game, but I was. I made sure to stay out of sight too, so I saw her when she kept looking over and smiled and waved at him. After the game, I waited and was sure enough, she ran up to him and they gave each other a great big hug. I walked up and snapped at my daughter. I said, "Get in the car, you're grounded." And I said to my ex, "Are you a perv or something? Move on already. I don't care if they invited you. If you don't want to get back with me, then stay away from them. It's weird. I don't care if they invited you, just say no. If I see you around again, I'll file a restraining order." Today, my daughter asked if they could go and hang out with some friends, and I said sure, but that if they went anywhere near my ex, he would go to jail because I filed a restraining order against him. I didn't. Their jaws dropped, and they all started yelling at me, "Why would you do that?" Which confirmed to me that they had already been planning on visiting him. I don't think that's the smoking gun that OP thinks that is. I know that I may seem like the jerk, but I don't think I am because it's weird for a man to be around another woman's kids this much. If he's not actually with the mother, stay away from the kids. Anyways, he's dating my friend now, and she has kids, so he should be spending time with them. Alright, folks, what do you think, jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk. You're a huge jerk. Like, your kid, he is your kid's dad for all intents and purposes. He has raised them for the past 7 years. You're taking away a family member because he's not into you anymore because you accused him of cheating when he wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty complicated situation all in all. For the most part, I'm going to say that OP is the jerk. And I think that OP really needs to figure out what they want more in life for their kids to have stability, if they want their kids to have a father figure in their lives, or if they want to have this petty game of trying to get him to get back together with her. Because clearly, the things that she's trying to do is leverage the kids against him.
And what was with all her sabotage here? Like, I'm going to go to my daughter's soccer game and hide just so I can catch her in the act.
Yeah,
like,
well,
she's going to these unreasonable ends just to try and, like, I don't know, like...
Well, it also shows what kind of parent she is. If the kids don't expect her at these events at all, then they're not looking for her. It kind of shows that OP may not be an active or involved parent and that they were always relying on the father for that part. And I do think that the thing is that it's a bit complicated. If he is sneaking around and trying to visit the kids, I don't really agree with that part, because he needs to probably just tell them that, your mom has told me that you can't hang out with me. I'm sorry. This is on her, right? But I wouldn't say going to public events is sneaking around either. So if they were going to his house, that might be one thing. But if he's going to an event where to support them, lots of people go to events to support kids that aren't even their kids, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. If it's a public place, but even if they're going to his house, it's so important for kids to have adults they can trust,
Yeah.
and they clearly can't trust OP.
Yeah.
She's made herself it sounds like they do not have a good relationship with OP at all.
Yeah, well,
And
would OP have a problem if they were friendly with a librarian, right? Like if a librarian went to games and supported kids or something like that, or paid special attention to them while they were in the library. I don't see them being, as long as it doesn't get weird or creepy, I don't think there's anything generally wrong with that, right?
yeah, well, and I feel so bad for the guy and the poor kids in the situation because OP is trying to take away this support network. They clearly have a very close relationship with him. And I've known kids who, their stepdad isn't the bio dad and the parents split and they still want to have a relationship with him because he's their dad.
And I think that's extremely reasonable. I think that's very reasonable. And the thing is, where I say the kids should have a voice and they should have a say in this, they're all old enough to know who they want to hang around. And I think if they view this man as their father, then they should be able to have a say in that, as long as he is interested in spending time with them as well.
And it sounds like he is. And that's the thing that if OP had married this guy and they had, either he had adopted the kids or they were biologically his, he would immediately be entitled to a relationship with them.
Yeah.
And I don't like the fact that he was able to raise these kids for 7 years and then OP's like, oh, no, you can't have a relationship with them anymore.
The thing, I think this is a cautionary tale that if you want to be involved in kids' lives, even if the relationship fails, then you should consider adopting them. And I think that that's kind of what the lesson here is that he doesn't have any legal right to those children as it stands, but if he had adopted them while they were in a relationship, then there would be a lot more weight to him actually being around the kids. So it's a complicated, messy, horrible situation, and I feel bad for the kids, I feel bad for the father, and I don't really feel bad for OP because they're kind of bringing this upon themselves. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck. And Straight Singer 2912 says, "You're the jerk. If you had played your cards right, you could have had a loving person in your child's lives. A person who you admit that you wronged, who was falsely accused by you. Admit it, you're denying him access to the kids out of spite because he won't take you back." And that's the way this is coming across. There's no doubt in my mind that this is the only reason, because OP was fine with it up until he started dating with another person, which then she wanted to cut him off because she's like, oh, now I don't have a chance with him, so.
Well, and the other thing I don't like about OP's attitude is she acts like the kids are interchangeable. Like, well, he's with this other lady with kids now, so these kids are exactly the same. You can't just be like, oh, well, we'll just swap out this one for the new shiny new one and it's all fine.
Yeah. And Wicked Love 7 says, "You're the jerk. 7 years he was in their lives. That means the 17-year-old was 10, the 14-year-old was 7, and the 12-year-old was 5. He was a big part of their childhood. He isn't doing anything inappropriate. The kids clearly want him to still keep coming to their events, or if they didn't, they wouldn't reach out to him. It's not their fault you ruined your relationship by accusing him of cheating. Be happy that they have a supportive adult beside you. Stop controlling and snooping on your kids, or they will most certainly go no contact." Alright folks, our next very creepy letter is titled, "Am I the jerk for renting a flat opposite of my coworker's house?" My coworker is a 33-year-old female, and I'm a 43-year-old male. And we used to get along great until a few weeks ago when she suddenly became very cold towards me after a work night out. I asked her out once or twice, but she rejected me, so I gave up, figuring out that if she changed her mind, she knows where to find me. My lease was coming to an end, and I needed a new place to live. Through the grapevine, I found out that the flat directly in front of her house was for rent immediately. No wait, so I grabbed it. Just to explain a bit, the street is two long rows of terraced houses directly facing each other, with each flat above ground level having a huge bay window. Awesome flats, so I signed the lease immediately. My bay window is right in front of hers, which shouldn't be a problem. It's not my fault that she doesn't use curtains. I use the big room as kind of a sitting room mixed with my gaming room, and I set up my computer and desk directly by the window. So when I am gaming, I look directly outside. As I said, it shouldn't be a problem. Plenty of people do that. She hasn't said anything for a week or so, so not sure if she even knew that I lived there. But recently I saw her looking at me and I smiled and waved at her. She made a strange face, waved back, and left the room. She's been telling everyone at work that I'm a creep and I stalked her just because I rent the flat in front of hers. I'm considering going to HR because she has been slandering me all over, but I want to double check to see if I'm in the clear. Am I the jerk for renting a flat directly in front of hers? There are a couple of comments here that I do think are relevant. Basically, there's been a couple of work parties at her house, so that's how he knows where her house is. So it's not like he stalked her and found her house, but that I do think is a bit of a relevant piece of information. So what do you folks think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Yes, you're the jerk. This seems really creepy. Like, it sounds like you picked this house because it's right across from her. You weren't like, oh, I love this house because X, Y, and Z. It sounds like you're.
Well, it sounds like he does have some things he likes about the house.
Well, yeah, but he wasn't like raving about it, and then like I still think like knowing that you're trying to get with her and she doesn't want to be with you, like this should be like the last house on the list, but
Yeah,
it sounds like
it's complicated. I mean, I don't like it. I think it's gross and I think it's messy, and I think that OP, there's something else going on here, and there's something that you haven't told us. All right. And that's my biggest problem with this, is that you had this party 2 weeks ago, and it was an after-work party, and since then she's been treating you cold.
well, he asked her out once or twice. It's like you know how many times you asked her
Well,
out.
does that mean he asked her out once or twice during that party, or did he ask her out, or did something else happen at that party? Because I'm interpreting this as he's asked her out once or twice, but something else happened at that party.
Okay, I took it as a once or twice was at the party,
Yeah.
that he was asking her out multiple times, and that she just kept rejecting him.
So in principle, I don't think there's anything wrong with renting a house, and if it happens to just work out to be a house that you are near a coworker on, then that's okay. They all live in kind of a small-ish town, I guess, but the whole thing is just weird in general. I think that this seems very more than just kind of like coincidental. It almost seems like, because it doesn't seem like he had a problem with his old flat.
And it seems like he heard it was available and got it so he could look in at her. Like he said, like the whole thing sounds like, oh well, she doesn't have curtains up, so I just had to set my gaming system up so it faces into her windows.
Yeah.
And that is just like he's saying everything but the explicit, I did this because I'm a creep and I want to see her.
Yeah. If it feels a bit intrusive to if you have someone who's a love interest and they've made their boundaries known, and you continue to try to bother them, then this might come across at least as you trying to push those boundaries even more. And I think that that's really problematic. Even if that isn't his intention, it's going to come across that way.
Right, and you are 100% a creep. This also does feel stalkery. Like, so she's not even slandering you. She's only saying, from her perspective, like, if I was in her shoes and some creep who'd hit on me moved in right next to me, like, I am going to be creeped out by that. I am going to be like, this is a stalker. I'm afraid for my life.
Yeah. I think it definitely has some undertones that put OP into not such a good light. It's a complicated situation though. So let me know what you folks think. Anyhow, take care and good luck, I guess.
Good luck finding somewhere else to live.
All right, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I've got some tea right here, and Amber, she looks like she might have a joke for us again. Oh, so I'll take a sip of my tea here. And I'll let her tell her joke.
What did the candle holder say to the candle?
So what did the candle holder say to the candle? I give up. What did the candle holder say to the candle?
You're the light of my life.
Oh, that's sweet. That's very nice. That's a very nice joke. And I have licorice spice, thanks to Amber. Alright folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you're all having a great week so far. And I hope everything is going swell for you. Thanks so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Howdy folks, I'm Brian.
I'm Amber.
And here's a post-apocalyptic Christmas. I'm just kidding.